All right, so assuming I'm good to go, I have my team, we've identified the stakeholders, we've done this kickoff meeting, everybody's expecting us, we're about to go do this move. We will need to plan for this one project, and planning takes, different steps. And what I'm showing you here is a practical approach on how you want to plan out your project. Although a lot of it may come from the PMBOK project management body of knowledge, which is used for PMP. We're certainly not doing PMP here, but instead we're looking at the usable part that I would use in managing my own projects. And I put them in the sequence that I think we should follow when we are trying to plan out our project. So first, I think we should collect requirements, and the necessary input for collecting requirements really is your list of stakeholders, so which we already have that. Okay, we have our stakeholders, we can collect the requirements, which are their specific needs. So let's say someone has a disability, uses a wheelchair, then we get the requirement for them to be able to move into their office desk and maybe the type of desk they need to use. Maybe someone needs better lighting. Maybe someone needs to be close to the printer, or maybe someone's responsible for printing for the whole organization needs minimum this kind of space because these are the types of equipments they have. See, you might think a move is a simple project. It is not for a company, especially if this is going to be your base, your headquarters where you're going to work. You have to account for a lot of these things. Otherwise, you'd be with no printer for a while, maybe even no bathroom for all you know. So figure out the requirements from everybody using different techniques, finalize the final scope. Like now I have a full, by looking at what everybody needs, I will have a full understanding of the work required. Then I start to break it down. So the WBS is an organized way to take the total deliverable of the project and break it into nice little structures so that we can plan out the activities associated with every piece of the work. So for example, the whole project is going to be the whole move, but in the WBS, there will be the packing and unpacking, the IT, the maybe electrical or infrastructure of the building. The other one will be the legal or logistics. There are different subsections of the final, move project that I need to analyze. And for every piece, there will be a different team that I would assign. And we, along with the team, will come up with the schedule of activities that they are going to do to complete their portion of the work. Now, if I can link the activities from one group to the activities from another group, I would eventually have a proper schedule for the whole project. I will know who has a dependency on somebody else, and that will give me a proper schedule at the end. Based on the schedule, I can now put specific people to assign them to the activities in that. These could be the same people from the contractor or from my organization who told me about these activities that they will be doing. Like IT would have told me what they're doing, facilities telling me what they're doing. I can appoint specific names. I will get names for who will be doing that part and how long it's going to be. So I will put them on the schedule. I'll put the name of the person. I can figure my cost if budget is my responsibility, but a lot of times it is not. It is just being paid for in bulk. Maybe finance is directly paying the contractor. In that case, the plan will be for them to do that. Maybe my job is just to sign off that I agree that the vendor did their part, maybe, and then finance can pay. Maybe they just need a signature. So whatever it is, we will do that part of it. But here, I may just cover it lightly just to show you how we actually figure out cost of a project, but we won't go too heavy in that area. I will also take into consideration the quality requirements, or what's our quality plan. Mind you, most of this quality planning and communication planning may happen here in the scope area, because for me to think that I have to take additional steps to maintain quality, those are going to be part of my requirements actually. So this actually may sit inside my requirements, but we will cover it separately like this, but you would have to consider it in your requirements. You'll need to make sure it's part of your scope, that it's understood that there are activities initiated for that there are people assigned to that the cost of the quality steps is already factored in. So usually you would add this here as part of it. And maybe we can also do it in that order. We can just bypass these and just cover this area and include it in our requirements. Also, when you have a list of your stakeholders, we'll also be able to develop immediately your communication plan. What sorts of information needs to go back and forth on the project? It will make you a more professional PM when you are communicating accordingly with the organization. And we don't mean just the meeting and presentation. I mean, what information do I track? If we're going to go around and look at different workstations and needs and wants, and if we don't have them documented, then we just wasted a lot of time. We need, whoever I'm going to assign to go and map out, like currently, for example, if I say go to the HR department and give me a layout, a current layout, how many desks, the names on every desk, and for every desk, I want you to give me the following specifics, like how many electrical outlets they are currently using or they will need, things like that, and how much space, are there any special needs? If they don't document it, that's a total waste of time. So you need them to document this information, and you're going to give them some form of a template. They're going to update it, and this is going to be on the list of documents that will need to be communicated back and forth as we work on this project. So there will be things that we need to track and document, and that's what we put into our communication plan. We also need to figure our procurement plan, which is how we are going to do the outsourcing or the tendering for the move or search for a vendor for move or contractor. That may, the procurement plan may actually happen here. When we are trying to break down the work into smaller pieces, we could say, for example, the move itself will be handled by a contractor, and that's when procurement may start the tendering process. So we'll talk about what goes into thinking about procurement. We may decide to do it ourselves and just hire strong people to do it for us, but maybe we're not really, that's not what we do for a living. We don't have a truck for this, but if we did, maybe we could use them. It's optional. And then once you have all of your plan together, you should ask yourself, what could go wrong? And for these things that I think could go wrong, what should we do to mitigate from them being wrong, from them going wrong? And that's called the risk management planning. Then you come up with your response to the risk, which is called the mitigation plan. And then you adjust the overall plan for how you want to do this. This is how you plan out your project in a professional fashion. Leaving anything out could cause problems for you eventually. Does this sound high level, like what some of you are using to plan? Does this sound like a thorough plan to you? Every one of these has a section. You'll see, for example, collect requirements. This is one of the sections. So every one of these is going to be a section in my training. And some of them have practical aspects like this, collecting requirements, the scope, the WBS, the schedule, even staffing, budget. A lot of these have practical sides to them. So we are going to go through this step by step.